$1,000. The winner gets $10,000 in the final. So I think top 4 gets 3,000 off the top of my head. So all to play for here.
Yeah, we do have Stian Nisson there, world's top 16 in 2024 or 2014. Sorry, apologies. But a player who I've known and seen the name for quite some time, a well-known player across the years here, piloting his Lost Box deck to a top 4. And Owyn, we've seen him so many times before, alongside, of course, his brother, a fantastic testing partner for himself, but has a top 4 finish at OCIC. And here we are, both players just set out their prizes, if I'm not mistaken, readying for an intense match to try and make it to the final. Here we go, everyone.
Oh, here we go. Top 4 prizes are being distributed now. Over for Owyn, I see 1 Chien-Pao, 2 Irida, could be interesting. And then for Stian, I saw 2 Dark Energy, I believe, and a Fire Energy as well.
Yeah, again, nothing too crazy. Some of the energy counts may be impacting. We do kick off our top 4 match here at Dortmund Regionals, with Owyn looking like he just drew to begin the matchup here with that Frigibax in the active spot. Nespal to kick things off as he gets his first deck search underway.
Okay, so while Owyn's going to get that first deck search, prize check, and target some after that Nespal, let's have a quick run through of how this Chien-Pao EX decks work, just in case you don't know. So Owyn is going to try and get that Bats Caliber into play as soon as possible, since it has the Super Cold ability, which lets you attach as many water energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. Chien-Pao EX is a fantastic recipient for those water energy. For 2 energy, you can do Hellblade, 60 for each water energy you choose to discard from any one of your Pokemon. Shivery Chill's an ability on that Chien-Pao as well, letting you search your deck for 2 water energy and pop them straight into your hand when Chien-Pao is in that active. You also do see eagle-eyed viewers there, a Lightning Energy and an Iron Hands EX as well. Ampy very much dealing 120 damage for 4 energy, and if you KO something, you take an extra prize card.
Yeah, fantastic run through here as we do see the Chien-Pao EX hit the bench there. Like I said, Owyn's just double checking the prizes. Just how EX hit the bench there. Like I said, Owyn's just double checking the prizes. Just in the meantime, Stian Nisson's playing that Lost Box deck. It's built around Radiant Charizard alongside a Roaring Moon EX as well. So, as we all know from the Lost Box variants, they're dancing around comp phase using flower selecting, ramping up that Lost Zone counter, hitting those very vital limits of 4 for the Kamerman to be able to start attacking with using that fantastic ability, Lost Provisions, into Spit innocently. Plays double of those in this deck. Does play the Roaring Moon and the Radiant Charizard, so utilizing Mirage Gate once it hits a 7 threshold to start loading up energies in the right places. Once it's hit that, it's just the 7 that it really needs to do, but at the same time, one card that we haven't seen too often, but we did see in the last match in top 8, sorry, that Sableye with that Lost Mine attack, 10 in the Lost Zones, allows you to put and sprinkle 12 damage counters wherever you like. So let's see how this match is really going to play out here, as we do see the Shivery Chill come down from Owyn, starting to fin the deck, because finning is winning, as Shay's favorite term is.
Love that, finning is winning. That's actually a really underrated part of Shivery Chill, allowing you to get the energy out of your deck, pop them in your hand so you can use them for concealed cards there, for example, letting you discard an energy from your hand to draw 2. We are going to see a Pokestop being played, or we're going to see an activation. Now you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, discard them. Any items you can keep. 1, 2, 3. And that's a double Nespal and a Rare Candy. That's very good there, Alex. Rare Candy is one piece of that stage 2 puzzle where you need Rare Candy to evolve straight from your basic into your stage 2. In this case, that would be Bats Caliber for Owyn.
Yeah, Owyn will be looking to try and stabilize his board, because of course, with Stian playing those Cramorants, can easily and quickly start taking knockouts on Owyn's side of the board. But without having access to something like Boss alongside Chorus Experiment to hit that for turn 1, it'd be really interesting. That's why Owyn, for now, has gone for the Bidoof onto that bench, as we do see the pass over. Stian, for the first time this weekend, I believe, on stream, showcasing exactly why he's been able to make it to this point of the tournament.
as Stian is going to start off his turn there with a Battle VIP pass, but looks like I'm going to do a little prize check as well. Going to identify what energy or Pokemon are in the prize cards there for Stian. Really interesting build there of that Lost Box, like you said, Alex, with that Radiant Charizard and that Roaring Moon, giving a Lost Box deck a little bit of get out the way power that we can traditionally see from Giratina. Roaring Moon with that frenzied gouging, letting you KO anything that's in your opponent's active. And I think in this matchup as well, Calamity Storm will be very useful at KOing Chien-Pao EX and or Iron Hands when needed.
Yeah, often without even needing to go into the frenzied gouging as well. Just discarding that Stadium as an option. One thing which might be quite cute, depending on what kind of the scenario comes up, he is playing the Tempting Trap Mawile as well. So Tempting Trap for Colors Energy, allowing you to trap your opponent's defending Pokemon in the active spot, not allowing him to utilize a retreat, for example. And in Owyn's list, the only way to maneuver around, if I'm not mistaken, are those cross switches.
I guess in that scenario, at least anything in Owyn's deck can attack at the very least. You know, even the Barrel, not a great attacker, but you said it could be something to watch out for if all energies get attached or get discarded for whatever reason. Tempting Trap could be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Stian is still debating on what to take there of that Battle VIP pass. It's not a matchup we actually see terribly often on stream, Chien-Pao versus Lost Box. What do you think of the X factors to keep an eye on here are?
I think the big things here from Owyn's side of the board is whether Stian will be able to establish a Manaphy. Of course, we've seen how impactful that Radiant Greninja is. We're going to see the battle of the Radiant Pokemon in this matchup here. That Radiant Charizard, we know, has so much power. A bit underrated, I kind of feel, in the scenarios and matchups at the moment. But we've seen just how strong that Radiant Greninja that is already sitting on Owyn's side of the board. So if Stian is unable to find that Manaphy,
think off that Flower Sledge, we might saw a Battle VIP pass there. The switch card
goes.
And I think that's a Battle VIP pass. That last card. Hey! There it is. So you mentioned how important Manaphy will be. I imagine Stian might be looking to prioritize that Manaphy now, because that Moonlight Shuriken can be devastating if pulled off without a Manaphy to help defend yourself from it, since Manaphy prevents all damage done to your bench Pokemon while it is in play. Obviously, Moonlight Shuriken from Radiant Greninja does 90 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, but Stian opting not to grab Manaphy at least right now.
Yeah, I guess the only other aspect is, as we've already seen, double Kamerman in his list. That Chien-Pao only has 220 HP. I say only, but that is susceptible to 2 Spit Innocently attacks. So, you know, potentially has a way of almost trading 2 for 2 from that prize aspect here, as we do see an escape rope. It'd be interesting to see which Pokemon Owyn sends up. Looks like the Radiant Greninja is the usual suspect here.
I think it's got to be. It's the only one that can survive a Spit Innocently, and you don't really want to give up your Frigibacks and or Bidoof if you can help it. So Radiant Greninja, wow. The often see, I mean, the rarely seen Battle VIP pass sent to the Lost Zone on turn 1. Stian is drawing that fire.
Yeah, I think it was a Sableye again. A deck we don't, many decks we don't typically see with 2 Sableyes nowadays, because we've seen the impact of Jirachi in a lot of sort of opposing decks. But I believe the other card there outside of the Battle VIP bars was that Sableye. So putting some strong value there into the Sableye itself, as we do see the 3rd flower selecting from Stian, that Psychic Energy going into the Lost Zone there, up to 3. So not yet able to act. Did have the Manaphy in hand, which is big, but unable to start an attack off. So over to Owyn to see whether there's a way to capitalize on these turns.
And it looks like Owyn's going to start the turn off here with a concealed card. It's going to discard a Water Energy to draw 2. Let's see what those 2 are. Still need to try and find Bat's Caliber if possible.
Yeah, I think just touching back on some of those important cards in the matchup here, Shay. There's something really important that you've already mentioned once before. In this matchup, Stian has has a lot of single prizes. So what happens when you're faced up against, well, what will Owyn be looking for here?
Well, that's what we're going to see a rare candy Bat's Caliber first of all, but when you're facing off against a 1 prize deck that has Manaphy in play, all of a sudden Amphu very much becomes much more of an attractive option. Now Owyn does only play 1 Lightning Energy, but that is currently in the discard pile. But that's no issue. Superior Energy Retrieval plucks energy from the discard pile very easily.
Yep, exactly that. So it's definitely something, again, another direction to kind of keep an eye on, as we do see the Shivery Chill here, for more energies out of the deck, leaving only good cards, or more good cards left in, as Pokestop is actioned here as well. One, two, three.
Show us the money. Oh, okay. Well, a little bit of money, a little bit of loose change. We've got one Ultra Ball there. It was discarding a Chien-Pao and a Bat's Caliber, and that is one downside to the Pokestop engine, as it was. Sure, it can get you a lot of resources into the hand, but if it's not an item, it will get discarded, as we are going to see Super Cold activation ×2, attaching 2 energy to active Chien-Pao, a 3rd energy to active Chien-Pao.
Yeah, I'd like to say that Comfy right now has 70 HP. What?
Yeah, so with this barrel, Iron Hands is still live, you know, because there is superior energy retrieval in hand. If Owyn can draw into something good here.
Has already retreated, I believe, from an energy attachment.
Oh, okay. So well, we have double cross switcher in hand, though.
Has just Ultra Balled one away, unless there's three of them. Be interesting to see what direction he takes from here. But that is one of his...
Oh, the Iron Hand's in the discard pile. I'll apologise. That's slightly off there. I
slightly off the camera and underneath the discard, so we hadn't been able to see that. But it's an option, right? Yep. Super Rod can grab that back. We saw it from Owyn's earlier game where it was discarded early. As we do see now, Owyn deliberating on that Industrious Incisors ability.
Okay, drew into a Frigibax and a Bibarrel, I believe.
The Frigibax is big, because remember, he doesn't want to see it get the Bax Caliber taken down and not access to Super Cold anymore. 2 energies from the Hellblade means the first prize of this top 4 at Dortmund Regionals goes to Owyn. Kamerman, how can Stian combat this now?
Well, it's really interesting because Stian's going to want to try and deal with this Chien-Pao. The options to one-shot it in the deck are quite low. You have Roaring Moon and you have Radiant Charizard. I mean, you could use Roaring Moon, but that's put another 2 prizes down the up that you don't really want to use. And Radiant Charizard's nowhere near being able to be used with that 5 energy Combustion Blast. That would be 4 energy with 1 prize card taken. So it might just be, as you mentioned earlier, a Spit Innocently ×2.
Yeah, this is big. So this is a Chorus experiment here that Stian is deciding what to Lost Zone. A couple of important supporters, another chain of Chorus experiment. Really important here, of course, because has to try and look to dig for that 10 where possible, or even 7 to begin with. Also prioritizing that Clara, which is super important when your attackers are generally small single prizes, and you just need to keep utilizing it as soon as possible. As we do see the Jet Energy here into the next Convey.
Looks like I'm debating what to take there. Flower Selection. Let you look at the top 2 cards. Take 1, Lost Zone 1. And let's see what Stian opts to take here. Just consult on the discard pile. You know, when you are in these top 4 finals, top 8 scenarios, being able to identify what resources your opponent has available to him, as we do see that counter catcher getting sent to the Lost Zone, is very, very important. Yeah,
super decision making here. All these micro decisions every time we see a flower selecting or Chorus's experiment is vital, because it's almost like a decision tree as you go through these options. You know, each step you're making is either increasing or decreasing your potential to win this game. As we do see now the Kamerman moving into the active spot. Spit Innocently live because of that Lost Provisions ability with 7 in the Lost Zone.
So 110 damage for 0 energy. Things you love to see. Over to Owyn now. Does have that Irida that was liberated from the prize cards. Top deck's a Battle VIP pass. Not the most helpful, but it's fantastic fodder for superior energy retrieval at the very least. Looks like Owyn is debating on who we're going to see. A Pokestop, Alex. 1, 2, and 3. Any items? All items. The triple item. There's the money from that Pokestop. Let's go.
He's a bit of a Pokemon Go player, and he's just spinning that wheel.
There it is.
And coming full trumps with whatever he's after. Just double checking what he's got available, of course. Look, iron up that Iron Hands.
There was a Super Rod in that Pokestop there, Alex, so we can shuffle that back in. Irida can obviously find Nest Ball and or Ultra Ball, and we know the superior energy retrieval was already in hand, so we could be the iron up and amp you very much into that Kamerman, and that would obviously take 2 prize cards instead of 1.
Yeah, this is big because Owyn, you know, unfortunately fell short last time in top 4 with the same deck. But now again piloting it superbly well into the right meta. This is a fantastic call for him at the moment. And we were talking earlier, or I was talking earlier about, you know, trading 2 for 2. Iron Hands eclipses that. It makes
it does.
Incredibly harder for Stian to actually deal with this scenario.
And what it also does do is if Stian can't find Radiant Charizard for whatever reason and is forced to use Roaring Moon, that's another 2 prizer. That works in Owyn's favor, saying, right, I'll take 2 prizes, you use the 2 prizes, take out my 2 prizer, and then I'll take your 2 prizer, my 2 prizer, and I've worked out well in that scenario. As we do see, Alex, the Iron Hands come down, rare candy into a second Bats caliber. It's feeling super cold here in this venue, here in this Dortmund top 4 feature match here, as Owyn will be playing this superior energy retrieval, I would imagine, to grab 4 energy out of the discard pile. I would imagine it'd be 3 water Alex, 1 lightning to power up that Iron Hands. Amp you very much.
It's only going to get louder with that Iron Hands. It's going to get electrifying as per you. With the Amp you very much, it's going to get louder here for Shay to continue bringing the noise with the Amp you very much shortly coming down as it's powered up here.
Wow. Just love it. The Iron Hands is such a, 4 energy attack cost. Amp you very much seems quite high, but when you have super cold to just go water, 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 it doesn't actually seem that hard to do. And superior energy retrieval is fantastic for getting those energies. We still haven't even used industrious incisors yet, Alex.
Yeah, hits an Irrider again, so can continue just finding the right combo pieces. This is one of the key aspects of many water decks at the moment. Got such good support cards, and when you can tech in just 2 cards to instantly turn a matchup, which could be quite difficult because of the single prize trade, and turn it like this, now you've got to deal with a big 230 HP Pokemon. And if you don't, well, Amp you very much is going to come down raining again.
Right, so we do see that Amp you very much. Owyn's going to take 2 prize cards there, so should go down to 3 prize cards left. Stian needs to respond. Combustion Blast Charizard, well, that's a fantastic start. With when you're taking 3 prize cards, that Charizard will attack for 2 energy.
Always experiments now hit the field. Here is the 5 cards we do see, just deciding what options are best available to him. Does he have access to a Mirage Gate? There's another Chorus Experiment. There's a Nest Ball as well.
Does he have access to a Mirage Gate? I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it in hand yet.
Looks very difficult, but Comfey could keep digging. Switch cart.
Switch cart and Chorus, I think that was.
Still not
I don't think there's a Mirage Gate there, Alex.
Maybe there needs to be more of another switch cart to go into the Comfey. Once again, he has to hit the Mirage Gate here in order to be able to take down this Iron Hands EX, which is staring in the face of that poor Comfey right now.
Yeah, in case you don't know why the Mirage Gate is so important, that Charizard attack Combustion Blast attacks for 5 energy. Excited Heart does reduce 1 colorless cost for each prize card your opponent has taken, but that means a Radiant Charizard will need a fire, at least 1 fire energy, and any other energy actually to attack. Mirage Gate will be the most easiest way to pull that off, but I don't think there is a Mirage Gate in that hand, Alex.
No, potentially may have to think about utilizing that Pokestop, maybe as an option to spin the wheel, but let's first double check what this Comfey shows. Nest Ball and a Sableye. Still missing it.
I think we're about to see who is a higher level on Pokemon Go, Owyn or Stian. I think might have to, if you want to try and attack this turn with the Charizard, might have to roll the dice there with that Pokestop. But one thing I want to keep an eye on, if you do use it, is you don't want to discard the fire energy as well.
Yeah, 100%. Here we go. Spinning the wheel, first card.
Wow.
Massive here. Does hit the counter catcher as well, so which is always going to be live for the next turn as well, because only taking 2 prizes here will be massive. So, sigh of relief from Stian's side. Energy attachment, of course, from hand will be required to take the knockout here. So retaliating with his own massive attacker.
And we do see that Beach Claw is going to deny Pokestop there for Owyn. Beach Claw is going to give basic Pokemon in play 1 less retreat cost, so that Comfey can retreat for free now. Things you love to see. And that Radiant Charizard is currently live. Excited Heart reducing Combustion Blast down to 2 energy, one of which has to be a fire, which, we have there. Combustion Blast, 250 damage, Alex. Going to equal the, well, not going to equal, it's going to turn the tables on the Iron Hands. Stian will take his first KO of the game.
Yeah, this is big. I mean, brings him down to 4. Owyn's down to 3 still. Still, I guess at the moment, or for the moment, Owyn is in a decent position to try and go down to 2 prizes. And there may be an opportunity, because Owyn does play a couple of Super Rods, not just the 1 copy, of course. We could potentially see another Iron Hands come down later as well.
It's not outside the realm of possibility, right? We see an Irrider that could find Super Rod, shuffle it back in. Irrider then finds Nest Ball and or Ultra Ball. The superior energy retrieval already is in hand, along with 2 cross switches, I believe. So it is possible. Whether or not you want to do it, whether or not you want to just KO this active now and Iron Hands for game at a later date, could also be an option. But I think, as it stands now, the possibility is there for a Super Rod. and then a recovery of the Iron Hands and another Ampu very much.
Yeah, it's definitely one direction he could take. Of course, has to be wary that Stian might play hand disruption cards. From our view, we know there is one copy of Roxanne somewhere in the deck, or maybe it's been discarded. Haven't quite noticed, or has it been lost zoned? I'm not too sure yet. We do see the Irida being played.
Oh, okay. I see
up
that super rod getting sent to straight to hand, Alex. I think that Ampu very much here would be very strong.
Yeah, I also agree. It's definitely an option, as we do see the Iron Hands move to the top of that discard. We could potentially see it once again. Does have that free retreat, Radiant Greninja, but will need to utilize the cross switches. One of the biggest things we've always noticed with cards like Irida is typically you can't play two supporters. So being able to gust up something with Boss and find those combo pieces haven't always been possible. But if you play something like Cross Switcher, you're grabbing an item, and that opens up a world of possibilities. Yeah,
because we actually, one thing about Radiant Charizard is that's 160 HP, so you can't amp you very much into that. But there could even be a world where you cross switch her into the Manaphy, KO that, and then that opens up the door for Moonlight Shuriken if Stian can't immediately replace it as well. So a lot of options there.
Yeah, again, will Owyn maybe be able to find a way to power up two Pokemon? I mean, there's a lot to ask for.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking the hand whether there's the option for. There we do see the Iron Hand straight back down again. But an option for another superior energy retrieval, maybe power up another attacker like the Radiant Greninja or a Baxcalibur. Doesn't matter. Anything could take a KO on the Radiant Charizard, or even just on the Chien-Pao. And what this means is, oh, this is nice. I like this as well. Being able to Shivery Chill just to get any energies that are still in the deck out of the hand, and then use cross switches to start trying to blow up one of those bench Pokemon.
It just gives you more cards to discard from your superior energy retrievals, as well as we are going to see double cross switcher being played. What is Owyn going to target? I think I'll be going for Manaphy, but we are going to see a comp that removes draw options as well. That makes fantastic sense. Iron Hands does go into the active. Here we go, Alex. Superior energy retrieval again. Going to grab 1 lightning energy and 3 water energy. We can turn attacks to lightning energy and then use super cold ×3 to get those water energy into play. And then we're going to see an Ampu very much again, Alex. 120 damage and 2 prize cards KOing that. Comfy.
Yeah, back-to-back Ampu very much. That's incredible here. An incredible display by Owyn to be able to take 4 prizes within 2 attacks, and that's not even seeing a V or an EX on Stian's side of the board. Here we go, Bibarel as well. Don't ever forget, he can continue drawing such important cards. I realized I just mentioned now, I mentioned Roxanne a moment ago. This is why Bibarel is so important.
Yeah, for sure.
In these types of scenarios.
Yeah, it hasn't even used the Bibarel yet, and Owyn has pieced together masterfully this turn here. And if you're staring across the board, you have to deal with the Iron Hands, but then could be quite difficult, as we do see another superior energy retrieval. So like you mentioned, Owyn could start turboing more energy in place, saying, right, even if you do KO this Iron Hands, I can KO with whatever I choose to set up here as well.
Yeah, one of those things. Maybe, you know, the best attacker on his side is that Chien-Pao, being able to take out anything in Stian's board. But, you know, he has to be careful. Doesn't want to get anything trapped. We mentioned it before.
For sure.
With the Morwile. Energy counts, you know, it's a typical sort of 8, I believe 8 water energies and 1 lightning. So over-committing could mean that there's no attacker in play. So he's got to be careful. Yeah, as it's just the announcement of Ampu very much for a further 2 prizes, ladies and gentlemen. And he's just 1 step closer to potentially making it to the final of Dortmund Regionals. Of course, this is only game 1 to begin with. Still another game to go. Can Stian find a way out of this situation?
Yeah, it's a really tough scenario, because you'd love to try and remove a barrel if you can, so you can try and Roxanne or Iron, or Roxanne as we said. But you kind of have to deal with the Iron Hands as well. You can't really do all this stuff at the same time. So what do you think is Stian's the biggest priority this turn?
He has to find that Roxanne. I mean, even if I know he's got a bit barrel, has to kind of change that impact of what Owyn might have in hand already. You don't want to give him more options to play with. And then, of course, uses that Charizard to take the KO. Oh, maybe Has to be, maybe, well, it has to be, right? Because I don't think the Roaring Moon take the knockout on a...
No, it can't. Calamity Storm is 100 plus 120.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you could use Frenzy Gouging, but that would be extremely counterproductive, so we won't be seeing a Calamity Storm there.
There's the Roxanne from that flower selecting.
Fantastic
instantly
start.
putting away that... Is that Artisan there? Yep, Artisan. So, it comes down to this. Can Owyn potentially draw out of something like the Roxanne here?
It's going to be Roxanne plus Combustion Blast, and Stian will be crossing his fingers, as it were. And I think that's all you can do at this point. You know, when you've been on the receiving end of 2 amp you very much, the game's going to be a little bit out of your hands, as we do see an escape rope here.
Yeah, has the counter catcher in hand, so you know it has to deal with this Iron Hands. So that's the main thing here.
So let's see.
You know, that's Owyn's not to know.
No, of course. And I think it's worth...
As there's the awkward movement to the damaged Chen Pao right now. A bit harder to move because I've got those damage counters on it.
Just debating whether that is optimal. I think I'd be going for Agent Greninja myself, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it makes things a little bit easier, but, you know, as I mentioned, that counter catcher should be played here. Has to remove that attacker and those energies out of play. Energy attachment, being able to retreat out of it. Pidgeot V as well, just to make sure he doesn't draw back into it from the Roxanne. And counter catcher. Excalibur.
Are we going for a potential stalling play here then? Maybe there's a lot of energy in the deck. 2 cross switches have been used. So Stian saying maybe you can't move this Excalibur.
I mean, there's energies in the discard, right? Then Superior Energy Retrieval is still available.
Is there a world in which he's going to retreat the active and start trying to use Lost Mine potentially? Lost Mine around?
Sure. It's definitely an option. Pokestop, spinning that wheel again. Unfortunately, removing that Clara from his deck. Just getting the Nest Ball. Here's the Lost Vacuum as well. Just trying to limit what Owyn has access to here. But he did manually attach to the Radiant Charizard in the active
so
spot.
we'll be looking to, if you did want to try and Lost Mine, you would have to find a Mirage Gate, which I don't think he saw. So it looks like we are, is it going to be a pass? I mean, if you just KO the I guess if you just KO the Excalibur, Iron Hands has to have a Gust. But it looks like we are going to see Owyn with an Irida. It's going to find himself a Superior Energy Retrieval. And let's see, going to discard, get 4 Water Energies back. Wow, for the for the Hailblade, I should say, KO as Owyn gets our game 1 here in our Dortmund regional top 4 match in fantastic fashion, a combination of Hailblades and amp you very much. Wow!
Yeah, once again, Owyn showcasing exactly why he's piloting this deck to another regional championship, and he's taking himself 1 step closer to making it to the final. Impressive display. Unfortunately, Stian was not able to stem the flow of that super cold. So let's just see how he's going to be able to combat this going forward. But at the moment, advantage Owyn.
Yeah, that Superior Energy Retrieval just showing you how devastating, you know, Chen Pao can be. That full energy, just providing all the damage you need, and just, you know, very easy retreat and then Hellblade for KO. I've been so impressed of how the Chen Pao has been rocking on stream so far, Alex.
Yeah, in the hands of a fantastic player. I think it's, again, showcased just all the little tips and tricks that you've seen of Chen Pao, utilizing the Radiant Greninja when you need to, utilizing Iron Hands, utilizing the Shivery Chill and the Hellblade knockouts as well. All of it plays a massive difference in the matchups that he's facing so far. And this is why Owyn Kamerman is currently 12-2-2 across the 2 days so far. And like I said, only 1 step away from being in the final of this regionals.
And Stian will be trying his absolute hardest to even this out and win 2 games in a row here and stop Owyn getting to the finals. We are going to see those prize cards being... That 1 Lightning Energy is prized, Alex. Owyn only plays 1. So that means Ampy very much will be a non-factor until it is taken. But Stian is going to start us off here in our Game 2 Top 4 Masters match here at Dortmund Regionals. Remember, the winner of this round will find himself in... Oh, no!
That hand is not pretty.
Of this round will find himself in... Oh, no!
That hand is not pretty. And unfortunately, it's just an attachment and pass. Again, look, Owyn cannot donk his Kamerman. But I didn't think I saw a supporter in Stian's hand either, as a Nest Ball comes down from Owyn's side.
Oh my goodness.
Not like this.
Oh my.
Not like
my heart
this.
stream. My heart can't take this. Right. So if you're Owyn, you can't, like you said, there is no opportunity to win this turn. There is no Kamerman for yourself. So you still have to set up, you know, irrespective of what your opponent's doing. You still have to get down your Greninja. You still have to get down your Frigibacks. You still have to get down Chien-Pao if you can, and/or Bidoof. Worth knowing, Owyn did prize 2 copies of Battle VIP Pass, I believe. So he might not be off to the races here as well.
Yeah, I mean, from Stian's side, even the double Comfey prizing means the drawing out of this. But right now, Stian, despite only having 1 Battle VIP Pass prize, unable to find it in the opening hand. So there's a further 3 cards in that deck, which just won't help him at all.
Yes, a lot of your consistency cards there in that lost box that are currently in the prize cards there for Stian. As we do see that Nest Ball going to conclude with that Radiant Greninja.
Yeah, Radiant Greninja utilizing it for that concealed cards ability. So far, Radiant Greninja really showcasing exactly why it's in so many decks right now.
Yep.
Just to kind of provide that consistency layer. As we do see the Bidoof and a Nest Ball.
Alex!
A great pickup.
Wow!
Here.
Considering when you have 2 Battle VIP Pass prize, having those come off your concealed cards, that Radiant Greninja is trying its absolute best to get Owyn into the finals. We do see that Nest Ball gonna be played to grab that Chien-Pao EX. Do we see an energy even to retreat and get this Chien-Pao in the active? We do, Alex.
Not only that, there's a Bibao and an Irida in hand as well. So Owyn's turn is not yet over here. Shivery Chill grabbing 2 water energies. Finning is winning, people. Shay's favorite motto.
And having those energy in hand, I think there's an Irida as well. So that basically means if this board doesn't change, Owyn will win next turn.
Big card.
Chorus off the top.
Chorus top deck.
Wow.
Opportunity here for Stian to try and stabilize.
Woo-wee. Chorus Experiment trying his hardest to get Stian back in this game. What are the targets? I see a Nest Ball. I see an Artisan. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't got many Pokemon in play, that would be fantastic.
Has switch carts as well, so can actually find a way to maneuver here to actually get an attack off. Because if there's only 2 Comfey's prize, 2 Comfey's in the deck left, has to give up. Is that the Marwile? That is the Marwile and the counter catcher. But here, the Nest Ball and the Artisan will be able to grab 2 Comfeys should he choose to go down this route.
If you did go down the double Comfey route, doesn't that open up the door for a Moonlight Shuriken?
It really does, but at this point, what more can you do? I mean, the Comfeys allows you to further dig through the deck with, you know, the additional flower selecting. So there's an additional 4 cards he might be seeing here. Just needs to retreat because he got the energy attachment onto that Kamerman, into one of the Comfeys. Maybe then uses 1 switch card to get back into the other one. So a couple of options available. It's just trying to work out whether he can protect himself, if necessary, with something like that Manaphy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can still draw into other ball sets to try and find yourself that Manaphy if possible. But if you did go double Comfey and they got Moonlight Shuriken, you know the other 2 Comfey are in the prizes, right? So it'd be very hard to get more Comfey down. Stian definitely has an awkward few turns to navigate here, but he does find himself obviously in this top 4 feet player. So let's see what he chooses to do. Yeah,
that Chorus Experiment just bailing Stian out of a terrible hand in reality. I think there was a Pidgeot V there, but obviously not needed, not wanting to be played down. Just putting the Kamerman in the active spot is absolutely fine for the time being. But, you know, he really needs to try and stabilize that board, and knowing that 2 of those Comfeys are not available, it's going to be difficult.
And does have all the Battle VIP Pass in the deck now that are essentially useless. You cannot play them if it's not your first turn of the game. So Stian just debating on what to take here, and it looks like we are going to see a Comfey, Alex. That might be alluding to the play you were talking about. Going to try and start churning through the deck if possible. So we're going to see that Nest Ball being played as well. And let's see, is this going to grab a double Comfey? Is this going to grab a Manaphy? Let's see what it go for. Or Kamerman even. I guess Kamerman doesn't get KO to a Moonlight Shuriken.
No, it does not. In this scenario, though, with just 2 in the lost zone, makes it a little bit more difficult. Yeah,
like you said, without being able to use Flower Selecting ×2, Lost Provisions will not activate.
I guess there may be a Lost Vacuum.
There is a Lost Vacuum.
Yeah, there you go. Just about caught it. And that would bump it up to 4 here as well. There's a Lost Vacuum. One away from hand. Looks like he's, lost vacuum, and one of those switch carts can start swinging away here. And with Owyn not having access to anything like that Iron Hands because of that lightning energy being prized, does mean Owyn needs to start trying to apply pressure from his own right.
Let's see what Owyn does here. I think Stian did some real fantastic plays there, not giving that Greninja the opportunity to leapfrog prize cards. As we do see Owyn evolve into that big barrel, so Industrious Incisors will be online. Owyn debating whether to play that Irida. Irida letting you search your deck for a water-type Pokemon and an item. Normally, this is for Baxcalibur plus Rare Candy. But if you have some of the pieces of the puzzle in your hand, Irida can start to search for some funny things as well.
Called it. Yep. Rare Candy, Baxcalibur.
Yep.
Here we go. Super Cold's going to be live. Shivery Chill still available as well. I believe he hasn't used it yet.
Nope, not at all. Definitely not, as we are going to see that Rare Candy Baxcalibur.
Maybe load up the energies, maybe.
Ooh. There we go.
Choosing not to Shivery Chill yet. Just draw some cards. Doesn't even hit any of the energies, so can continue bursting through the deck a little bit longer. Has access to Pokestop as well.
Yep. Interesting. It looks like we are going to see maybe a concealed card. No, we're going to see that Shivery Chill now. Touch your deck for 2 water energy and put them in your hand. I love this so much about Chien-Pao. So now has so much energy to play with here, as we are going to see that conclude in there and a shuffle up from Owyn. So we have seen our supporter for the turn, Alex. We have seen the Industrious Incisors. What else do you think we're going to see?
I mean, this is a tricky scenario because ideally you wouldn't want to leave that Chien-Pao just to be knocked out from another Kamerman. But he's got to find a useful attacker here. So it's a retreat maybe into something like the Baxcalibur to attack with.
Yeah, that Buster Tail doing 130 would be enough. I mean, you could even just Moonlight Shuriken and carry that Comfort. I mean, it's still a prize card at the end of the day.
It's true.
It might not be the full value 2 prize card that you like to do with Moonlight Shuriken, but it is a prize card nonetheless.
Does limit also, Stian being able to use something like Flower Selecting. On future turns, just removing it from play for the time being. Yes, there's still Cramorants that can keep swinging, but those Cramorants isn't exactly going to be taking a knockout on a Radiant Greninja either, leaving it on 20 HP because that 130 buffer is more than enough to tank a hit.
It really is. It looks like we're going to see a superior energy retrieval being played, getting rid of a Pokestop and a Cross Switcher for Owyn there as he takes 4 basic water, I should say, from the discard pile. Super Cold ×4, letting you, ×3, I should say, attach 3 water energy to that Greninja, Radiant Greninja. So we will see a Moonlight Shuriken. I would imagine 90 damage into the bench Comfey, and then 90, well, wherever you like.
Yeah, I wonder if Stian, was he able to find another Chorus Experiment from the one he was able to use? Because that'll be pretty important to try and ramp up as soon as possible. There's the Moonlight Shuriken, 1990 on the 2 bench Pokemon, knocking out that Comfey. Again, kickstarting the prize. There's the Mana Fee.
There's the Mana Fee coming in a turn potentially too late there, but it's going to join the party as we did top deck the Chorus, or had a Chorus Experiment in hand, I should say. And let's see what Stian opts to take. I know we see a Battle VIP pass. I'm sure that's getting sent to the Lost Zone. And let's see what else gets put there.
Not the most ideal cards. I mean, at least one easy choice with that Battle VIP pass. So no access to the Artisan anymore. So no way to grab another Comfey to start sort of Flower Selecting across and make it to the 7 as soon as possible. As we do hit the 6 now. 1 away from activating Mirage Gate. But does need to start finding some of these other attackers, I think.
Yeah, needs to get some attackers, needs to get, try and get to that 7 if possible. It's a really awkward board state. You don't really see too often. Double Cramorant and nothing else. We're going to see an Escape Rope. No, it's actually interesting because none of them you really want to be taking a Spit Innocent. It's going to have to be the Frigibacks.
Giving up a Frigibacks here. I mean, it's because of the way the deck plays, it utilizes a lot of Sableye to start sprinkling the damage. Here, by letting the KO happen, it's sort of wasting some damage counters that would typically might stay on the board. So the Frigiback's only, what, 70 HP, or 60 HP
60
this one?
60 HP won that one.
So yeah, that would mean 5 damage counters have been sort of quote-unquote wasted. And sort of less value from the Cramorant attack.
It looks like we are going to see Super Cold ×2, going to get 2 more water energy attached to that Radiant Greninja in the active. I think a Moonlight Shuriken here is applying a lot of pressure, the way I describe it. It's like the walls are just closing in. These Moonlight Shurikens, while they're not taking 2 prize cards immediately, it's just spreading a lot of damage. And if that Radiant Greninja can Moonlight Shuriken again, that bench Cramorant will be KO'd. So as we are going to see a Super being played there, Owyn shuffling in some Pokemon. Wow, I'm just so impressed right now.
Yeah, I wonder if I would have preferred to have seen that Manaphy come down into play. I mean, maybe he didn't expect Owyn to maybe go into the Radiant Greninja once again.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're in that scenario. 3 energies loaded up for that Moonlight Shuriken. Oh, so many options for Owyn here. Unfortunately, still, of course, hasn't been able to grasp that lightning energy out of the prizes as of yet, as another Frigibax does come down. You know, again, just giving that little bit of protection should that Baxcalibur somehow go down. Moonlight Shuriken taking out the active.
Wow.
90 on the bench. Kamerman now, top deck. Let's see what we're able to work with.
There's no supporters in that hand, Alex. There's no supporters in that hand.
Not looking too pretty. This is a worry.
And we're not at that 7 cards in the loss zone yet, so that means those Mirage Gates are not live. So that Roaring Moon EX will not be able to get powered up. That hand, wow.
Just not great here from Stian. Unfortunately, having lost that Kamerman, that 90 damage on the active one, yes, it may be a little bit irrelevant, but it's at least applying pressure. And from that aspect, Manaphy dropped to the bench with an attachment as maybe a pivot option here. The double Comfey being prized doesn't help things. And of course, missing those battle VIP passes on turn 1. Super huge in this matchup here as Owyn's staring at a board of just a Kamerman and a Manaphy here.
Yeah, it's really tough being that awkward 6. It's just going to be a spit innocently there from Stian. Does get the Manaphy developed. Let's see what Owyn can do now. Still hasn't taken that lightning energy yet. So Iron Hands will not be like. We do see a cross switch, a double cross switch. You're going to force that Manaphy into the active. That Chien-Pao also will go into the active. Shivery Chill activation. Going to take 2 water energy straight from the deck and put them in the hand. Super Cold is obviously still alive, so we can attach as many water energy as we like. I actually really like this KO into the active as well. It's going to make that Greninja even more of a threat, Alex.
Yeah, so much going on, as we do see. Just for the viewers at home to notify that the Chien-Pao EX Shivery Chill has been used, but Barrel hasn't been used yet.
Nope.
Does have plenty of cards in hand as well. Does play down the Pokestop finally. Ooh, he just doesn't want to give Stian too many options.
I don't mind that. I don't think I'd be wanting to give my opponent any wiggle room here.
As we do see the super cold attachments, I'm sure, from Owyn's side of the board, does require 2 energies discarded to KO that poor little Manaphy that has 70 HP. Pokestop does come down. The Barrel first, 2 cards.
3 battle VIP pass in the hand there for Owyn. We are going to see a Pokestop activation. Ooh, going to get with 2 Pokemon. Chien-Pao, Baxcalibur, but does get a superior energy retrieval.
Can remove those battle VIP passes out of hand, so that's big for him as well. 4 energies there, stuck in the discard now. Barraging into the hand and just ready for any sort of super cold shenanigans.
It looks like we are going to see debating whether to attach them here. I mean, I guess in theory you could even attack with Moonlight Shuriken again into the active if you chose, I should say. So debating, we're going to see a concealed card potentially. Then you discard energy and draw 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, the key factor here, Shay, as we've mentioned on numerous occasions, is simply, you know, doesn't matter how your opponent's drawing, you still need to make your game super tight. And, you know, you need to bring your A game here and do everything correctly, as we do see another super cold attachment to both the Chien-Pao and the Radiant Greninja. Just kind of making sure he, you know, hedges his bets.
Might be trying to almost Roxanne-proof yourself here, so at least have more energy in place. So if you do get Roxanne, it should be easier for you to continue attacking. As we are going to see a Hellblade discarding 2 energy, doing 140 damage to that active Manaphy. It gets KO'd. Owyn takes 3rd prize card, does take that lightning energy, worth noting, over to Stian. What have we got?
Jirachi.
Oh my goodness, Alex. And the only playable cards here are Pokemon, Basic Energy, and a Super Rod, and a Switch card even. No supporters.
Pokestop is massive.
1, 2, oh no, 3, goodness gracious me, Stian, Pokestop, not showing Stian the love here, getting rid of 3 vital resources.
And it's just not the one here. It's really, really slowing down now. This is not the type of deck. And we've just got notification that Golden Go has taken game 1 in the other top 4 match. And that's fantastic to see. Are we going to see the Golden Boy make it to the final?
Golden Go potentially versus Chien-Pao, or, you know, this lost box deck if Stian can, or, you know, this lost box deck if Stian can do the unthinkable here and get out of this hole and win 2 games before Owyn can close this one out. debating what to do here for Stian. There's not a lot I could see. Pidgeot V coming down potentially.
What's playable? I mean, by playing down the Pidgeot V or the Roaring Moon does basically open up for Owyn to say, well, you know, here are your free prizes, Owyn.
Yep. But what else is there to do?
Yeah, I know.
It's
a worry.
Nothing else to do. I mean, that Pidgeot V can use Vanishing Wings. It can absorb some damage. You're going to see a Spit Innocently, I would imagine. Yep. We're going to see a Spit Innocently of 110. I mean, Owyn can't win this turn, but is so far ahead. I mean, you'd love to see a KO one of those 2 prize Pokemon. That would be ideal. We're going to, as Owyn starts off the turn here with a Shivery Chill. Going to grab, I think there's only 1 target there, so 1 Water Energy going into the hand for Owyn. What do you think Owyn is going to try and manufacture here, Alex?
I think the key thing that we've got to notice is he's already utilized 2 cross switches to bring up one of the opposing Pokemon. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, actually also discarded. From one of the Superior Energy Retrieval was nice and early, which does mean he has no other capture type cards left in the deck. So just has to
see 3 in the discard.
Just has to barrage through now the active Pokemon that Stian will be putting forward here. So it will be this Kamerman that needs to go down. Pokestop 1, 2, and 3 hits it, of course.
Oh, Owyn, Kamerman showing the duality of Pokestops. Poor Stian got a triple miss, and Owyn got the triple hit there.
2 fodder cards, unfortunately, with that 1 cross switcher and about VIP pass, but they all count.
They all count.
That Vessel is another card that can be utilized to start just removing them from the hand in case any other hand disruption shenanigans happen. But Owyn's in such a commanding scenario here, as we do see the energy attachment to the active Chien-Pao, but it's just making sure, again, he has to play this all out correctly.
Yes.
No mistakes has to happen here.
You really want to, like you said, even if your opponent isn't doing or playing optimal or doing whatever they would like to do, yet still the onus is on you to make sure you play correctly and get the win. As we are going to see an Irida being played for that 70 HP Frigibacks and the Superior Energy Retrieval as well.
Yeah, so again, just making sure he's prepping his hands ready for future turns. We've talked about it all before. I mean, the hand again, another massive hand, another massive accordion hands that are available for Owyn as he just keeps going from low numbers to higher numbers whenever they want. It's an incredible showing. It's just unfortunate from Stian. Has plenty of cards in his hand as well, just weren't playable.
Yeah, just all basic energy or Pokemon, as we are going to see.
That was a Vessel, I believe.
Urban Vessel
just to kind of remove the Battle VIP pass from hand.
Yep.
Still has that cross switcher, which isn't really usable anymore. But what does it matter at this point? I mean, you can see the board. There's been plenty of damage that Stian has actually made, as we do see the Hellblade for 60 damage.
So we see the Hellblade there from Owyn. Stian needs to see Hail Mary here. What can we draw into? Chorus would be ideal.
Oh, Battle VIP, but not.
Goodness gracious me, Alex.
Yeah, Pokestop 1 more time for Stian.
1, 2, 3. Both the Clara being discarded, by the way, from that Pokestop, but still can't play that Mirage Gate. Is at that tantalizingly close 6 in the loss zone.
Handshake extended. Owyn Kamerman 2-0s the top 4 matchup and advances to the Dortmund Regionals final, where he will be piloting his Chien-Pao deck to try and take it down. Look at the celebrations there. Smiles all